Suzy Singh, who you remember from MasterChef, and she's live in studio. How you doing, Suzy?
Doing awesome. How are you, Nick?
Good. It's great to see you in person, and great to meet you. Big fan, obviously, of yours. I was rooting for you all the way on MasterChef. And the damn meringue. That's what happened. It was a meringue that did you in.
It was the meringue. It tasted delicious.
Yeah, that's what I understand. Yeah. The taste was great. It just looked a little. So were you surprised that I mean, you're the dessert girl. What happened?
I am the pastry queen.
I know.
I was really surprised. I was really surprised that I went home during that challenge. But yeah. I mean, honestly, for my own standards, I did lemon curd during the challenges. I did a pâte sucrée, and I've also done the meringue.
Yeah.
So I've done every single component of that dish earlier on the show.
Yeah.
And I was just more disappointed with myself.
Was it the time that did you? Was it the time that did you in on that particular challenge?
I think so. I think it was definitely the time. But more than anything else, I think it was just myself. Yeah. I think getting into the top 4 was the epitome for me.
It was great. I was so glad you were there. I was ticked when you got booted, but I was so glad you were there. I was rooting for you all the way, Suzy. And the last time we talked, we weren't able to actually talk a lot about, because the show was still on. So you weren't able to talk a lot about, the results and everything, was your family happy with the results? Well, not the results, basically, because you came in 4th, but were they happy with the whole experience of watching the show? And you had parties, you watched MasterChef every week with your friends. Was it fun?
It was amazing. We were all over Chicago, and we were collaborating with other chefs. And I think for my parents, even getting into the top 100, for them, it was a way for them to realize that this is something I was supposed to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Well, you were so much fun to watch on the show, and I love the fact that you're from here. That just made it all. Now you're from Buffalo Grove.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm originally from the northwest suburbs. I consider myself a total Chicago girl, though.
Yeah.
I always came down to the city every other weekend, so it's my heart.
Well, so let's go back and talk a little bit about your background. First of all, let's tell everybody, for those people who are not familiar with MasterChef, maybe people who haven't seen the show, it was season 2 of MasterChef. Kind of give us the basics of what MasterChef is and what it's all about. And Gordon Ramsay and Graham Elliott.
So MasterChef is an amateur chef competition. We had tens of thousands of people that auditioned for the show.
Yeah. And
we have 3 judges. We have Graham Elliott, who's from Chicago. He's got an amazing restaurant here in Chicago. Joe Bastianich, who is the son of Lydia Bastianich. Yeah. He's a restaurateur, and he has a couple of wineries in Italy. Yeah,
I was going to say, he's kind of a wine guy. Yeah, he is, definitely.
And then we've got Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay, one of my heroes.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's one of my greatest mentors.
Absolutely. So they were the judges, and it started with how many people?
We had tens of thousands of people that auditioned, but for the first episode of the show, we had 100 people.
Right. And then now in those 100 people, we're all gathered in one big area, and you had to cook your signature dish, correct?
That's exactly it.
To show the judges.
We were in a warehouse.
Yeah, in a warehouse. So the working conditions were a little strange then, right?
It was really interesting because you got to really see your competition.
Yeah.
You got to see what they were all about, their technique, everything.
Tell me about the process of from the moment. Now, did you watched season 1? I'm assuming.
I did.
And you dug it, and you were like, man, I got to do this. What was the process from that moment where you said, okay, I want to be on MasterChef? Tell me how it happened till you got to the 100.
Wow.
It was obviously a huge audition process, correct?
It was a massive audition process. I actually, this is really interesting. So I saw only a couple of episodes from the first season of MasterChef.
Okay.
One of the episodes was with Kat Cora. And she's phenomenal.
Yeah. I've had her on the show. She's awesome.
She's so cool. And she's 5'0" as well. She's a teeny tiny woman who's got a ton of force to her.
Yeah.
And so I consider her one of my greatest mentors. She's someone that I would want to aspire to be like.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that episode, that's when I knew I wanted to audition for the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually ran into the casting producers at Le Cordon Bleu. And they're like, Suzy, you've got amazing personality. Wear normal clothes and audition for the show.
Wear normal clothes? What is that? I'm sorry, what does that mean? Were you...
I was actually making fondant that day at Le Cordon Bleu. I was learning.
Okay.
I was in the kitchen.
I just love that they specifically asked you to wear normal clothes.
Wear your personality.
Okay.
And I'm the girl that's constantly wearing either a chef's coat with yoga pants or a dress with stilettos. It's one or the other, you know? And so that's the first part of the audition process. We had to make our signature dish, and we had 3 minutes to plate it with a pseudo camera and someone interviewing you. So it's just what it would be on set. And then we had 8 rounds of auditions.
Wow. And you made the cut, obviously. So